Welcome, everybody, to PinstripeChronicles podcast, best source for the entertaining take on the Yankees. I am Tats. I am here with Rob and Donald.
Are you laughing again at your introduction? Your introduction obviously tickles you pink, man.
No, I like to laugh at the beginning, get everybody in a good mood, not be so pissed off all the time.
We have to be pissed off about.
Yeah, we're winning every game.
That's the fun of it. So, last night was it was one of those where you're watching the game, and even with the conclusion, that is a game of why we love this team. If you're just a baseball fan, if you take off the fan lens of who you root for, that's a game you watch and you say, that's why I love baseball. That was how much fun that game was. What was your reaction to that? How do you think the game started with Tyone? What do you think was the issue with him on the mound yesterday?
Gave up a couple of meatballs. Didn't help that he hit Altuve to start the night. You put him on, and then I think he gave up either a walk or something to the next guy. Brantley singled, and then he gave up the bomb to Bregman. It's like, before you can even sit down in your seats at the stadium, it was 3-0 Houston. And then, Stanton ties it up and you're like, oh, we got a game. And then the Yankees stopped hitting. The Astros got that next big hit, another 3-run bomb. And you're like, I still don't think this is over, but going back to Tyone, it's just, he made two, in my opinion, two really, really bad pitches, which obviously went over the wall. The two of their best players. But, again, he was so good for like the first 2.5 months that I think it's okay that he had a meh start. Again, if he didn't hit Altuve, if he gets him out, who knows how the inning goes. Maybe it's a little bit different. But he made two really, really bad pitches that went over the wall. He got roughed up, but let's not forget Houston's a really good lineup. And maybe the balls were juiced for that inning. Who knows? Because Stanton went yard against Valdez, and then they couldn't score. But yeah, an interesting start and a wild finish, which is something that we've come accustomed to with this team.
Don, what did you see?
That's right. We're coming accustomed to these comebacks and walk-offs, right? Obviously, a huge comeback in the previous game, thanks to Trevino and Judge, obviously, and then Judge comes through and gets the walk-off. It's just this never count out this team. This team just never says die. They make special things happen, especially in the ninth inning, and it happened again.
Pigs, right? You had to check the pigs were flying because Aaron Hicks, of all people.
Oh my God!
Like, not only did he launch that, he pimped it. Like, he knew it, and I'm like, where's that swing been all year? Because every time he comes up with runners on base, he's golfing, and this was a level swing, and it was a really beautiful swing, that one that we saw when he was hitting for us before the injury in 2017 and 2018. And you're like, where's that guy been all year? And we've seen him pretty much all month. Like, he's been swinging the bat a lot better. And I was like, I'm giving him 2 weeks moratorium of no slander. And now it's a month because someone corrected me on Twitter. They're like, oh, no, it's got to be a month for this. I'm like, that's fine. A month of no Hicks slander. I'm going to try.
A month? That's hard, man. That's hard.
That was a big hit, though. But,
it was.
It just goes to show it could be anybody at any moment. Go back to Rizzo, 16 pitch at bat, takes Valdez out of the game. And then you go into the ninth inning, and you're like, we just got to get somebody on. Walk. And then of all people to hit the home run, it's Aaron Hicks. His third of the year is probably the biggest home run we've hit this season. And that was playoff atmosphere, man. The stadium was going nuts. And we got robbed. It should have been over on the Trevino single, but they called IKF out. But the whole ninth inning, it was like everybody put up a good at-bat, and you're like, they're never out of it. If they're within 3 runs, they're never out of this game, and that's special. That's a championship caliber team.
Now, the funny thing with Hicks is he comes up to the plate, and then then he gets the home run. And I actually had to, I'm listening from work. I actually had to get my phone and check the box score to make, because I didn't. I'm like, was that Hicks at the plate? Did I hear that wrong? And I was like, holy crap! Hicks actually came through with runners on base in a big spot. And rewatching the video, the way he pimped that, I'm like, oh, that was a big middle finger to all of us that really doubted him. And that were just so critical of him, which was deserved, but it was his chance to kind of say, screw you. How do you like that? So the way he pimped that home run, I thought was just really fun. It just shows that he's still a part. He's still buying into what this team is doing. He's just having trouble keeping up. He will have his moments.
It's like 3 games now, though, that he's kind of won for us this in the last week or couple of weeks. Minnesota.
I think they said right now he's batting over 300 for the month of June.
He's at 300 even. He's almost at a 400 on base, and he's having a really good month. And the criticism was warranted though, because he was abysmal with big spots like this. And now this month he's come through again. 3 games in this month alone: Minnesota, Toronto, and now here. He's there might have been another one actually. Tampa Bay had a big hit, I think, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure, but 3 or 4 games where he's come through. So I mean, criticism was warranted, absolutely, but he's turned it around, and that's what fans do. Right? That's what fans do. When you start playing well, they're going to cheer you. And if you start struggling like he was, they're going to boo you. That's just the simple fact of it. He was really, really bad, and now he's been really good. So hey, keep it up. That's all I can say to him.
Even tonight, if he has 3 strikeouts, that fourth time he comes to the plate, he's going to get his ass booed. That's just the way it is. Baseball it's a live moment. You don't get a pass. Hicks does not get a pass because he's had a few good weeks. Where everybody else has had good months. But it is fair. It's fair for fans to say, all right, he gets a reprieve from the hate for a little while. Donald, you're one of his biggest fans. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I don't know how Rob's going to manage a month of really slander at Hicks. I struggle with per at bat, to be honest. So he's going to get a reprieve of 1 at bat tonight, and that's all I'm giving him. No, listen, it's I'm trying to, how am I going to put this diplomatically? Because I strongly detest the man. I strongly detest everything about him. So congratulations to him, and thank you very much for actually doing something that resembled anything that constitutes baseball. That's good. And finally, we connected on, because he always has these monster swings. 9 times out of 10 he flails at them, but this time he connected, and boy did it connect. So that was kind of fun. No, I'm not gonna compliment him. I'm just gonna compliment the team in general. Everybody steps up. Everybody does something different. Everybody does something special on a day-to-day basis. Yesterday the hero was Trevino. 2 days ago the hero was Trevino. Yesterday the hero was Hicks and Judge. It's it's always Judge, to be honest, but everybody does something special. And Rizzo, I think on a day-to-day basis he does something special. We're talking about a 16 pitch at bat right there. Incredible. That's the stuff that we did in the 90s, man. That's the stuff that we did when we won championships. These huge at bats, those at bats to get really good pitchers out of the game, so that we can start getting into their bullpen and start doing damage in the later innings. That's how we won championships. And so Rizzo showed a championship mentality there. So I can't say enough about how special the season is. There's something special going on, man. I mean, every single day where you think, oh, this thing, maybe we're out of it. I don't know, but we're never out of it. Every day we're never out of it. Now, I'm not saying we're going to win every day, but every day we've got a chance of winning. And to be honest, most of the time we are winning. And a lot of it is these amazing comebacks and fun walk-offs, and the stadium's going insane. I've never seen Yankee Stadium, the new Yankee Stadium, this excited. It's really good. It's great for the city. It's great for Yankee fans. It's just amazing. It really is.
No, I saw online that the atmosphere and the way that the stadium was yesterday is a precursor for what it's going to feel like in October. Because that was the energy in that stadium last night. It felt like, a game 7, even though it was, even being the first game of a 4-game set, that was, everybody was, you see online, all our friends that we interact with, they all have no voice that were at the game, so even people that were at home that were screaming at the TV. And, yeah. And then even Spencer was texting me last night, and he was like, "Can you believe this?" And my response to him was, "This year, yeah, I do. I can believe this, because we've been getting this all year, where they're just they're not out of it. Never. How many batters were retired without a hit? After Stanton's home run. It seemed like they just couldn't get anything going after that."
Mm-hmm.
But when it came to the 9th inning, I think it's also funny how, I would say in the last week or two, every big at bat of a game always comes to Judge. He always finds himself in that big spot, more so lately than earlier in the year. He's handled it perfectly.
Right before arbitration hearing too, like he took that championship belt they give after every game, and he's putting it on the table on the Zoom call. He's gonna slam it down and be like, "Look what I got." He's
gonna have it over his shoulder. Yep.
Walk in like Stone Cold Steve Austin and just be like, "Look, give me the money." But, I mean, look, that's one of like maybe 3 people in the lineup you turn loose 3-0 in that spot with 2 outs, game-winning runs on second, and it's a very slow runner in Trevino. But 3-0 to Judge, you probably, if you're Stanek, who I think it was Stanek that was pitching, probably should have walked him. But then you got to face Rizzo right after that, who's had a knack for the dramatic. So, I mean, really, it's pick your poison. And it's like, if I throw a strike to Judge, he's either taking me deep or he's going to belt one down the line, which he did. And every single night, it's like, this is going to happen if they just stay within it. And the offense was not doing much until Rizzo, 16 pitches, like that's more than pitchers throw in an inning. He threw it to one batter. So you took Valdez out of the game with that and got to their bullpen, and we still didn't score. But the 9th inning comes around, and everybody but Gallo put up, right after I praised the guy. So, yeah.
Maybe I wasn't jet lagged, Tats. I'd like you to walk that back. Thank you very much. That pissed me off no end when you said that.
Whether you use jet lag?
Yeah. It was kind of like a criticism, even though I was spot on.
Look,
Tats, say something, Tats.
That's fun.
I apologize, Tats. Tats, you apologize.
No, I didn't. Apologize for what?
I was right, and then you made me look like I was an idiot.
No, I never made you look like an idiot.
Yep. Speak.
If I did, then I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I wasn't trying to put you, make you look like an idiot. This is how we talk to each other.
Asshole.
Tats is not one for the confrontation, clearly. Look, I'm not going to take away with what I said about Gallo. He has had a much better month. Unfortunately, he's whiffed in another big spot yesterday. I'm not saying that he has been clutch. I'm just saying he's been better. That was my argument.
Yeah.
Fortunately,
Fortunately, it's not worked out too well since then.
was like, of course. I was like, this is my moment. When he came up, I was like, oh, he's gonna do it. He's gonna do it. And then I felt the breeze from here in Florida when he swung. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. I even offered $5 to anybody if he walked up. I was like, oh, he's coming through. This is his moment. Gallo. The Italians are gonna rise again. Nope. So, but it came down to Judge, so I'll take it. It was the captain who came through in the end as usual. So, yeah. But Joey, next time I give you a compliment, I expect you to come through, Gabagool, but you didn't do it. So you lost your seat at the Sunday dinner table for now.
He has. I mean, is it the whole Italian New York thing? Is that why you've got an extended, patience for Gallo? Or
I know like pretty much 95% of people are like done with him, but I can still see, because even Jeff Passan was on the Michael Kay show, and he's like, there are teams that are going to offer you something for Joey Gallo because they see he can hit home runs. Maybe a change of scenery is what he needs.
Yeah,
Maybe it's just he can't handle it. I mean, I hate the whole you can't handle New York thing, but maybe he just can't do it. But you would think if somebody can handle New York with all these Italians out there, it's like, oh, they're embracing me because of the culture. Like Rizzo, immediately you saw the pictures of him with the Italian getup, and he was imitating Tony Soprano and all that. But I mean, he has the ability to be a 40 home run guy, especially in Yankee Stadium. He just hasn't done it. And I guess it's his refusal to adjust. He hasn't tried to adjust. Everybody else has.
Yep.
I mean, Gleyber Torres adjusted. Rizzo with 2 strikes chokes up on the bat. You don't see him do anything like that. So maybe he just doesn't. He can't handle New York. Maybe he can't. Maybe a change of scenery is needed, because the player he was in Texas to what we're seeing with us, drastically different. Even take away the batting average for a second, the power's not there. This is a guy that should be not with Judge in the race, but maybe closer to Rizzo. He should be in the double digits. He's not even there yet. With his power, he should be, a 30, 40 home run guy a year, especially in Yankee Stadium. So it's unfortunate it hasn't worked out to this point. I don't think they'll make a move yet. They'll wait. But if he starts to get, another 5 or 6 between now and the deadline, there'll be some offers. A team like the Padres can use a bat like that. Unfortunately, hasn't worked out for us.
The problem with Gallo is this is the perfect opportunity and the perfect year to start making adjustments at the plate for yourself, because you're not the focal point. We're not relying on you to be the power guy. You can kind of blend in with everybody else in the lineup and work on your adjustments. It's not like you're doing much now anyway. So, I don't think it's the pressure of New York. I just think I think it's stubbornness to his, to the way he plays. He doesn't want to make the adjustment. And I think it really, what stands out is when he was saying, I'm not DJ LeMahieu. And yeah, we understand that, but make some type of adjustment, because what you're doing isn't working anymore.
Yeah, when he said that, it sounded like he was almost saying that with like an element. I know that he kind of made it like, I know I'm not the type of player that LeMahieu is, but I still got a sense that it was almost like he was taking pride in the fact he won't adjust. Because he knows 100% this is the type of guy I am. I'm just going to hit home runs. I'm going to strike out, and I'm going to draw walks and stuff like that. You can still adjust in some way. You can still try and hit the other way. You can still try and do something a little different. But I don't think it's the background. I don't think it's the Italian thing. I don't think it's any of that makes Rizzo so successful here. It's the championship pedigree. Rizzo came from a tough town. It was going tough town in Chicago. He won there. He's got that championship pedigree. He knows what it takes to win championships. He knows what it takes to win. That's why he chokes up on the bat in 2 strikes. That's why he knows how to draw tough at bats. And he's just got, and that's why he's so good with runners in scoring position and so clutch. It's just he's got that championship pedigree that he's really comfortable in his own skin in tough situations. And I don't think because he's Italian or he's comfortable in New York. I just think he's got that pedigree about him, and that's why Gallo's not like that. Gallo came from Texas, where all he did was lose 120 games a year, and there's not that pressure on him. You know, he can just hit his 40 home runs, and if he strikes out 250 times, no one's going to bat an eyelash because, you know, there's no pressure on him because you win 40 games a year over in Texas. I mean, it's under exaggeration, but I mean, it's not that far off. And, you know, it's different. It's different expectations. And I think that's what it is. I think that's why Gallo's struggling, man. I just think it's partly his approach, but also I just don't think he's got that X factor about him where he just knows how to step up in clutch situations. So I think that if the Yankees were to move him, I think he'd be great in the National League somewhere. I think California would suit him. I think he'd be great in like a San Diego situation. I think he'd be perfect there. I think that he'd embrace it a little bit more, and there'd be a slightly less pressure on him because it's a cauldron over here, and there's no question about it. It's a tough town to play in. I think the Yankees have got a really good chemistry though, and Gallo's certainly added to it. He's a good guy. He's a fun guy, and I think the locker room likes him a lot. There's no question about it. I just think that he's just not a fit to win championships.
Yeah, I think sometimes the comparisons between Gallo and Rizzo are a little unfair because if you look at their career paths of where they are to now, like you said, Gallo's been in Texas with no pressure. Rizzo was in Chicago on a team with a century-long championship drought, you know, and he was the focal point of ending and bringing a championship to the Cubs after 108 years of those fans waiting. You know, there is no reason why he can't handle any pressure whatsoever. Yep. So, you know, he's still, he's still loved in Chicago when he goes there.
He's one of their best players of all time in franchise history. Rizzo will be one of the best players in Chicago history.
You think of all the, Chicago's had great teams, just wasn't able to put it together. That was able to finish it off. So Rizzo was part. Brian. They were the key pieces that finally ended the drought. They handle the pressure. They stay focused on the game at hand. Gallo's not that type of player.
Nope.
He's never had this type of pressure, and he doesn't even have the pressure. Like I said before,
he's batting ninth.
Well, he's batting ninth. He's got all these other stars around him. Now is the perfect time to reinvent yourself.
He doesn't even have to. All he has to do is just hit home runs. That's all they need him to do. I don't think the Yankees would care if he hit 190 because that's what he's been doing in his career. His career best average is like 207 or something, So it's not like they're expecting him to go ahead and hit 300, reinvent yourself from a 200 hitter to a 300 hitter. No one's asking you to do that. But if he was hitting even Aaron Hicks average, you're taking that with, 15 home runs or whatever at this point. But he hasn't done that, and that's the issue. He's hitting 163 right now. But if he was hitting like 180, but he had a bunch of home runs and RBIs, batting ninth, playing good right field or left, I wouldn't care. And I think a lot of people wouldn't care because the team would still be winning games and he'd be at least producing somewhat. The average, look away from that. If the on base was good, the power was good, the slugging and all that other stuff, you'd overlook it a little bit because, look, he's our ninth hitter and he's still offering you something, but he's not. Or at least for the first 2 months, and now for like the last few games, he's been really, really bad again. So it's like if he was just hitting more home runs and drawing more walks, you wouldn't care about his batting average as much. If he was the player in Texas with us, no one would care because he's still giving you that impact power bat and then the bottom of the order. I mean, that's a lefty guy that can hit 40 home runs in Yankee Stadium, batting ninth in your lineup. But the fact that he's being out hit by a catcher who is not known for power or batting average or hitting in general, Trevino's out hit him. IKF has out hit him. Torres has bounced back. A struggling DJ LeMahieu has out hit him. Everybody is. Marwin Gonzalez is out hitting him. So Carpenter. Yeah, Carpenter. At this point, I want to still try to be positive because if they don't move him, we're stuck with him, right?
Yeah.
So I want to hope that he can get something going. I also want him to hit better because if he does, then we're going to keep winning games, and then maybe another team sees value to where we can get something for him. I think at the end of the day, the best thing to do is to move him because you're not going to re-sign him. So try to get something, and they should still be looking for another outfield bat. And if Aaron Hicks is doing this, you can stick him in left fielder as your fourth outfielder and bat him ninth. And at this point, Aaron Hicks makes your lineup more complete than Gallo does, which I don't think I'd be saying that before the season, but here we are.
I can't believe I'm saying it either. Hicks is probably adding more to the Yankees lineup than Joey Gallo.
You were not saying that a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, that's as far as my compliment to Hicks goes. That is still significant. It's still significant, though. He does more. He does draw his walks. He does hit the occasional big hit. So yeah, I mean, no, I just love that everybody steps up. And Gallo's had his moments too, although very few and far between. Everyone really has. I've never known a deeper team. When you can look at our bench, and we've got Marwin Gonzalez and Carpenter that are both playing pretty damn well whenever we give them an opportunity. Higashioka is still a very good defensive catcher, and he's had one or two offensive moments this month. And I mean, Rob, we were talking in our last podcast about like which players would be an all-star in this Yankee team. Which ones off the top of your head do you think merit an all-star spot? Pitchers and batters.
Well, I'm gonna obviously 99. Trevino needs to be an all-star. He's just like the best catcher in baseball right now, offensively and defensively. Rizzo might get in there, but I think there's other first basemen that might get the vote over him. I think that's really it from the offensive side. Stanton has kind of slumped, so he's probably kind of played himself out of it at this point with Trout playing the way he has lately. And Ohtani's, I don't know what he classifies as, outfielder, DH, pitcher.
It's true.
So yeah, that's probably it offensively, which is crazy because but most of our all-stars come from the pitching side. Clay Holmes.
What about Torres? Would you not give Torres a shout?
He has. I've defended Gleyber Torres like crazy on here, and I would love for him to be an all-star, but I wouldn't care if he wasn't because just he's been so damn good this year, and it's gone so under the radar. He even played shortstop the other day, and no one really cared. No one really cared. No one said a word.
Well, it was only for one game, and I think everybody understood that.
Yeah. But if he made it, great. If not, no big deal. We know the obvious ones are going to make it. We know Judge. We know from the pitching side, Nestor's making it. Probably Cole. I don't think with the recent struggles, Tyone makes it, but the whole pitching staff could, or rotation probably should. Michael King should be an all-star. That's maybe if Wandy didn't give up that big inning the other day, he could have been in the running for a bullpen spot. But Holmes and King, absolutely. Nestor and Cole. We could have about 6 or 7 all-stars on this team, if we're being honest.
Yeah, we counted.
We had about 8?
About 7 or 8, yeah. I mean, I still think that if Stanton has a hot June, I'm hoping that maybe that big hit yesterday will certainly maybe get him back together because his numbers are right there. The thing that hurt him was the 10-day injury, because his numbers were right there amongst the top around the American League, and it's tailed off since then. He's going to struggle to get his timing back. But he's due a hot streak where he's just going to hit the cover off the ball every single at bat. He's due it very soon. And I think a hot streak might get him in the running. I think Rizzo deserves it, but as you say, there's a lot of really good first basemen that would take that away from him. But I think he deserves a shout. I'd love Torres to get an opportunity. Trevino for sure. I certainly counted Holmes. I hope that Tyone does, because Tyone certainly deserved it prior to this start. This start might have killed it, but
I don't think so.
But a really good rest of the June and part of July of quality starts, you probably get him back in the running for an All-Star. So to be honest, Severino did prior to his 4-walk and 5-inning game. He was right there in the All-Star running. I mean, probably could have put the whole rotation in there, right? It's that good.
Well, that we had said before that if, you could take any one of those starters and put them in the All-Star game and nobody can complain.
Nope.
That's just the way that they've pitched. They've had a couple of rough outings, but they're not getting, they're really not getting their asses kicked. It's really, 1 or 2 at bats that are leading to a little bit of a slide. But all in all, they've been as solid a rotation that we've seen in baseball.
Mm-hmm.
And pairing that with a hot offense and a flexible lineup, everybody's doing something every night. That's a great recipe to get to have a solid October. As long as they can, because it doesn't show any signs of slowing down for them. That's what's also fun. It's not like, where was this? This is the team we had a month ago. No, this is the team we had yesterday. And the day before that, and the day before that, it just continues, and it's freaking awesome. And Donald, you're going to get to witness this tonight. First, you're going to be at the stadium, right?
We are, yeah.
Oh,
Nasty
you're there tonight. I'm
Nasty
not.
Nester. That's right.
We'll be there tomorrow.
That's right. No, it's a Nasty Nester t-shirt giveaway day, so I definitely wanted to do that. So I'm going with the boys in the Big Apple, and pod, and that's going to be fun. It's going to be a great night. The atmosphere is going to be unbelievable. Certainly excited for my first taste of this special team. Yeah, well, I'm all over it. I'm gonna have to get one of those Nasty Nester t-shirts. I have to wear it. That has to happen.
Nester on the mound, that should be a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's. I want to see him really. I want to see him shut this lineup down.
Well, he's not pitching tonight.
He's not pitching tonight.
He's not pitching. I thought he was. Why are they doing a giveaway when at night he's not pitching?
No, tonight's Severino. Tomorrow is Cole.
Yeah.
And then I think Nestor's got Sunday.
Oh, that's originally he was set. It was scheduled, but the Severino missed start, I think, threw the rotation off, right?
No, I don't think he was ever due to pitch.
Why do they see? All right, let's sidetrack here. Because now I'm aggravated.
Now I'm aggravated.
Why are they doing a giveaway for a player that's not even playing? That doesn't make any sense.
But they do bobbleheads of guys that aren't playing.
Yeah, they gave away a Paul O'Neill bobblehead recently. They've given away.
He's retired. That doesn't count.
He's not playing. He's not playing. They give away Judge stuff all the time, and he sometimes. Well, he plays every day. But I guess if they were to, you don't know if he's going to start though. They probably had this planned out well before the series, and they know they had a road trip, and you don't want no one. I don't think people are going to fill up the stadium for an Oakland game. So it's like, let's go for the Houston series on a Friday night. You know it's going to sell out. Let's give away a shirt that people are going to want from one of our most popular players. Who cares if he's pitching or not? You're still going to get to see Sevy. It's Sevy 100%. Versus Verlander tonight. This is going to be a freaking.
That's fire.
And then people can wear it Sunday to the start when Nestor goes out there.
Okay. I just never understood that. I really didn't.
I mean, you've got a point, Tats, but I can see your point for sure. But it's very difficult to plan these things well in advance because anything can change, So
Yeah, I
it happens.
guess for a pitcher, it's hard to schedule that.
Yeah.
A position player, yeah, it's easier to manage that. Not that believe me, they're not sitting somebody because the next day is their giveaway.
Mm-hmm.
If they start doing that, then I will be
100%.
I said
100%.
But listen, enjoy the game tonight. Hopefully,
Thanks,
you
man.
you meet with some fans and have some good discussions in the stands. I'm sure everybody's going to be all fired up tonight. And enjoy the time with the boys in the Big Apple. It's a great podcast. Check them out. And that's going to wrap things up for us today. Just remember, like, share, comment, and subscribe. Check out our social media in the description. Hear us on sportandam.com/player. You can also watch us on Northeast Streaming Sports on Roku. Wear your pinstripes of pride and play hard.